for the communities because they didn't have cable TV and Xbox 360, you know. So the one thing that was unusual, in my opinion, was that you would see something like an opera house incorporated in with a Masonic lodge. The Masons were so secretive, you would think they'd want to keep it hush-hush, where the opera house was one of the busiest locations in town. And because it was right on Route 1, there were a lot of traveling road groups headed to the big theaters in Chicago, and they'd stop here to do a show, pick up some money, and then move on. This particular opera house was pretty much state-of-the-art, and what was going on there, where the Casey's is, there was a big building over there, and the second floor had a great big room, and it was the Masons Lodge along with an opera house. And it was very limited, and it was somewhere around 1900 that the Masons realized they had a lot of members and some money, and they decided they were going to build a new Masons Lodge and incorporate in the opera house. And so roughly by 1904 it was up and running, and the Masons actually built the building. Not only did they pay for it, but they built it. And basically they, I don't know how much you guys know about the Masons, but
I didn't know anything. I was trying to tell him.
Yeah, it was.
they're really a great bunch of guys that do real wonderful things for the community. When I was a kid, we'd go into a grocery store and there would be a little gumball machine with chiclets or something in it, but there was always this spring-loaded sign on the front that had some boy in braces, and it was sponsored by the Shriners, which is part of the Masons, and the Shriners Hospital and all that kind of thing. So they're always out doing really neat things for the community. Unfortunately, because they're so secretive, people start making up stories about the Masons, which is really sad because they get into this devil worshiping and that kind of stuff, which is just really ridiculous. But when they built this building, they built it so that the first floor was the opera house. This was where this window is. There was a great big double door that would lead you into this area, which was the lobby. And then the top floor was the Masons Lodge. And a lot of the old opera houses had box seats, and you'd actually pay a little bit extra money to sit in a box seat. And I don't know, have you guys ever seen the movie Tombstone with Kurt Russell plays Wyatt Earp? As soon as they get to Tombstone, they see a show, and it's in an opera house in Tombstone, which is still there. And it's that Birdcage Theater, which they say is
in the Birdcage Theater.
Yeah.
A few shows.
Anyway, this particular opera house did not have locked seats. What it had was a balcony, which is what you see right here. And it would cost maybe a little extra to sit in the balcony. And it may only be 15, 20 cents to see a show. Radio wasn't here yet. TV obviously wasn't here yet. So it was the main source of entertainment. And they decided the one rule that they had was it had to be family oriented. So you didn't mind packing up the kids, grandma and grandpa, and go and see a show at the opera house. But minimum wage back then was like 10, 15 cents an hour. So it could be pretty costly to come see a show at the opera house. When they did not have live shows, they showed silent movies, and they actually at one time were showing silent movies on the side of the building, on that north side of the building. But they had some really good shows come through because they were on their way to Chicago. This particular opera house had a great big door on the back of the building that they would open up, like tonight would be a good night to do it, open up the door, and whatever transportation they had, horse and buggy or monkey or whatever, they would allow them to park down in the basement underneath, so they didn't have to get out the rain. And most of the opera houses here in the Midwest did not have that feature, but this one did. They said it was very state-of-the-art. They boasted about the lavish scenery and props and things. Unfortunately, I've not been able to uncover any pictures of the inside of this building. And I know they're out there somewhere. Our local historic society did not have anything. They got outdoor pictures, but no indoor pictures. By the 1920s, talking movies were coming in, and it basically was the beginning and the end of the road shows. And a lot of the opera houses started closing down. This one ended up closing in 1929. They decided not to upgrade to the sound, and of course they'd have to change the acoustics and everything else inside here, and they basically decided not to do that. Like I say now, this building was the opera house here, and the top floor was the Mason's Lodge with a balcony in between. There was no second floor. And in 1929, the opera house shut down and was never reopened again as an opera house. There was some talk about graduations and church revivals and various things like that, but nothing definite that I could uncover that happened here in the opera house after they closed it. Over the years, it's been several things like in 1931, some guy came in and bought the entire building, and he went back in there and pulled out all the seats and poured concrete over the wooden floor and parked cars back there, turned it into a Ford dealership. And when he did that, he extended the floor of the balcony all the way to the back, creating the second floor. And the first guy that he leased out the second floor to was a metal fab shop. The guy was making furnace parts and things like that, and then he got into household goods, coffee pots, tea kettles, frying pans, that type of thing. But his biggest selling item was a metal vase that you put in the ground next to a gravestone to hold flowers. And he was selling hundreds of thousands of them out of here during the Depression with 5 people, and kept them all busy during the entire Depression. It was unreal. Because he started working so much with copper, one day he got a visit from Al Capone. And Capone negotiated a deal where he would build the stills, and they'd put them in the basement, and the building next door, Eric's building here next door, was the Chevrolet dealership, and it had a door in the front, door in the back. They'd pull a car in, load it up with moonshine, and then a second car would pull in, and they'd swap out cars, drive out the back so the police couldn't follow them. And it's real close to Chicago, so they'd make all these trips all day long, pulling moonshine to Chicago. The entire town still talks about the days when Al Capone was here. Apparently one day his car broke down and he had to have a service at a service station down the street. And they said it was like a freak show. Everybody showed up to get a look at Al Capone. Realistically, that probably wouldn't be a whole lot different today if some big celebrity came into town. You know, we'd all want to get a good look at him. Unfortunately, it would probably not be Victoria's Secret's girls. It would be Justin Bieber. So anyway, there's a gal that still lives here in town. She walks her dog by, and she comes by quite often. Real nice gal. The guy that was running the metal fab shop was her grandpa, and she was the one that first came by and started talking about Al Capone being here in the stills and all that kind of stuff. So that was really kind of neat, you know. It wouldn't be something that would be really well publicized because it's so illegal, you know. But a lot of people here in town still talk about it. Unfortunately, about 15 years ago, the wooden floor in the opera house finally cut loose under the weight of that concrete, and it literally filled the basement. The owner at the time just filled it up with gravel, leveled it out, and called it good. it costs a fortune to try and dig that out and redo that floor, you know, but it'd be nice to have the basement, but I just can't do it, you know, it costs a fortune to do that. The Masons stayed upstairs till 1947, and due to financial issues, they ended up moving back down to the building where the Casey's is, into that original spot. And in 1959, they closed it all down completely and merged what members they had with a lodge up here in Houston. If you looked up the lodge today, you wouldn't find anything. There's just nothing anymore. There's good chances that somewhere there is a lot of information about this lodge and maybe even pictures of the inside of it. And I just haven't found it yet. I'd love to find it though. I had a paranormal experience of my own about 15 years ago. And the more I questioned things, the less answers I got. So I had more questions than answers. And I ended up finding a ghost hunting group called Indiana Ghost Trackers on the internet. And I ended up joining them. And within about 6 months, they made me their director of the Lafayette chapter. And one day I just happened to run into this guy, and he says, you know, I got this whole building. He said, I don't know if it's haunted or not. He said, a lot of weird things are going on in there. He said, you ought to go check it out. And he just handed me the keys and said, go. So I teamed up a bunch of people, some people from Bloomington, Indiana, from Indianapolis, Lafayette, and we all came over and spent an entire weekend over here. And we were pretty blown away by the kind of activity that was going on here and the evidence we were picking up. It was pretty neat, you know. And about a year later, I ran into the guy again, and I asked him if he could come back. He said, sure. He said, you can hunt anytime you want. But I gotta let you know that it's up for sale. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to own it, and if you'll be able to hunt it after that. So I talked to him a little bit about what he was asking for it, and we negotiated a really good deal. I couldn't turn it down, you know. And we come in here, and unfortunately, the family that owned it were hoarders, and it literally filled all 3 floors to the ceilings with trash. You couldn't see the floor in this room. It was just mounted up everywhere. You couldn't hardly walk through this room. It took me 9 months to clean out the building to where it is now, and we're still working on it. But at this point now, I really do have groups coming in from pretty much all over the United States. I've got a guy that's been contacting me from Texas for a long time. And it's just awesome, you know. It's definitely exceeded my dreams of what it would be, you know. And my big dream was just to simply be able to share it with people. So, you know, we don't watch it on TV. It'd be so neat to be able to actually participate in it. That's why I keep my rates real cheap, you know, and just try to keep things going. And so far, nobody's walked away totally empty-handed. One night when I was cleaning out the shop here, you get busy doing things and you lose track of time. I look down my watch, it's 1:30. Well, that means it's 2:30 in Lafayette, and it's an hour's drive home, so it'll be 4 o'clock before I get to bed. So I go into the back, throw some trash on a pile, shut off the light, and as I'm walking out of the back here, I can hear a voice coming out of the back that does this, get out. And of course, I said I might need that to clean out my pants before. But I went ballistic. I just went off. I said, look, you're welcome to be here. You're not going to tell me what I can and cannot do in my own building, you know. And several times we've heard voices from the back here, and it's that same deep, gravelly male voice coming out of the back corner. And he's responded to a lot of different things, and we've got several recordings of his voice. which is really kind of neat. But
That's
for
my
some,
friend.
Mm-hmm.
He really likes me.
for some reason, they get very foul.